over a decade, most of Darfur has been off limits to the rest of the world. Now that Omar al-Bashir is gone, the new government is promising change and slowly allowing access.
We've just arrived in Al Fasher. It's the capital of North Darfur, and it's a pretty well-developed city. There's UN peacekeeping mission here and a large military presence.
Since 2003, at least 300,000 Darfuris have been killed, but millions more were forced out of their villages and into camps like this one. The government historically denied most basic services, so people here rely only on each other. This clothing drive was organized for victims of an attack carried out just 10 days before we arrived.
أنينا كان خرب تردانا وأنينا نازحين وأهلنا طردوهم من معسكراته وحرقوهم وقتلوهم عشان كده قلنا أنينا كان نازحين نعمل لجنة عشان نلمونا ونساعدوا أهلنا بخارج.
Have any of you tried to go back to your land in the years that you've been living here?
الهجمات والقتل في البلد لسه لا زال مستمر.
For their own safety, camp leaders often share videos of attacks on other camps. This one shows the recent deadly clashes in El Geneina. Dozens were killed and tens of thousands were once again displaced.
نفس الحرب موجود في دارفور. أساساً إنه جنجويد والميليشيات يمشوا يهاجموا الناس في معسكرات نازحين.
The Janjaweed were originally an Arab militia armed by the government to put down the rebellion. They were brutally effective. In 2013, many were absorbed into a paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces. For people living here, only the uniform changed. Last June, they were behind an early morning raid in the capital that left more than 100 dead. This is one of the men alleged to have ordered that attack.
The IDPs in El Geneina are saying that the RSF was directly involved in an attack that killed dozens of IDPs there.
المشاكل اللي بتحصل في دارفور هي مشاكل بتاعت موارد، مشاكل ما بين المزارع والراعي. الدعم السريع ليس سبب هذه المشكلة.
Do you deny the claims from IDPs and civilians that the RSF has been involved in any recent attacks that have led to the death of civilians?
أنا أتحدث بصراحة. والدعم السريع لم تساعد قبيلة عربية أو قبيلة غير عربية للاقتتال مع بعض. أنا لا أنفي بحكم تبعيتي لهذه القوات، ولكن أؤكد شهادة للتاريخ. قوات الدعم السريع لم ترتكب أي عمليات بتاعت إبادة منذ إنشاء حتى الآن. قوات الدعم السريع لم تقوم بأي عمليات بتاعت حرق لقرى أو خلافه حتى الآن. قوات الدعم السريع على العكس تعمل على إقامة قرى.
Human rights groups say government forces are notorious for bombing, burning, and raiding villages. That's left thousands of towns abandoned, just like this one. The government justified these attacks by accusing residents of sympathizing with the rebels. And according to Amnesty International, there's evidence of widespread use of chemical weapons against civilians.
بعد ما حرقوا علينا هلتنا في النص مدينة الجبل قدقوا صغيرة بس والقنابل ياخدها والله الكيماويات دي ياخدها أساس منها الأمراض دي ما في أي عالم أنا بس في الدخان داك بس شربنا الدخان ده قطم لنا في خشمنا ياخدها يرجع مشى رجع أساس الدكتور ده لما جاء في قصة قال لي أنت دي الكيماويات أننا ما عندنا علاجات أصلاً كده عشان نتعالج فيه لقلت.
Did other people in the village or in your family have the same symptoms?
نفرين. ده الناس ثانيين لكن في خالتي زوج أخت أبوي وفي أخوي برضو.
We weren't able to independently confirm the use of chemical weapons in the specific attack on Abdul Karim's village. but experts say several hundred villages were likely targeted with chemical weapons by the al-Bashir regime. Living here, does it feel like there's anything different between now and the time during the war that was happening?
والله ما في أي أمن. والله بضرب واسع كل المسيحيين كله بعد خميس البي بيساقوا هنا لما برجعوا في الشارع لا بجيبوا هناك برا بلقوا صغيرة. مشينا كان في سان قالوا لنا جيبوا بيشيلوا لنا. ودك غيرك وبهدلونا تهديد هديد كده بأسلم. أي زول كان جاي نلقوا كور خلاص كان في أدو جا عرسوا بالدمنا في المسكن.
With the RSF and Army deployed around the region, all but one mountain range is now under government control. We're heading to central Darfur, to the Jebel Mara Mountains that start just over there. It's the last rebel stronghold in Darfur, with most of the territory held by one faction of the Sudanese Liberation Army. We've been in touch with commanders on the mountain for the last few months to try and negotiate access to understand the real toll of the conflict there. The last foreign journalists in Jebel Mara snuck in more than 5 years ago. We were the first to gain access from the government in more than a decade. Despite our authorization, the military still blocked us for days when we tried to cross the last checkpoint.
It's really important that someone at the ministry speaks to military intelligence today.
Finally, we made it to the first town on the rebel-held side, where we met SLA soldiers and started the journey up the mountain on foot.
So we're just on patrol, and we're hearing gunfire, I think, from 2 directions. These guys have been talking for a few days about a potential government operation against them. It's what they were preparing for today and going deeper inside the mountain for. But at the moment, we're not sure what's going on.
The Sudanese Liberation Army, or the SLA, was formed in 2003 to fight against government-led persecution of non-Arab Darfuri tribes. The SLA is led by Abdul Wahid al-Nur. He refuses to give up territory or participate in peace talks until humanitarian organizations are allowed back to Darfur, militias are disarmed, and al-Bashir faces justice.
They have done very, very bad things around this area.
But for many of these soldiers, the conflict is personal. Most say they joined the rebels after their own families and villages were attacked.
خلاص كنا ما إلا كورو أبغى ما لم ينفعنا ما أبغى ما دابم كنا ما نتندو نقول كوين على لين بيغم نقول كنا ما نتندو نينين خلاص نما قال ألا قال قولوا ينو نما قولوا دكواي كندي أبغى نما ورونا قال مين إلا كرمو دندري ريو نكى سبوا 6 7 أنا هاجي من قاين سكوا سكوا كلهم دانا قال دنا ما دونزل ندوغلا أواري نمس كده دوغلا ودكوزين يلا جري كرا نقولوا إلا نسكال أوكومي هذا بلا يواز بابا نما نين كوي لو نافا غانا غام بنا مكو كي نهار كان غينا كواز بيرمو كين كيرو كلام بكو نا بندقي ان كابون كي غندي نرال نما الكيله طرف كري تدريب كدو تدريب مم بابا الى علنجي كوي نغاني كوي نا تدريب ندي فرصه كان بابا ديري خلاص نما نا شغل وازل ngabo dudi lenga baba ile modi batni zajibi ngale squat ngale kuili ne te expressab kiska ne ide kay ngama de korone de expressab ko ne bialam bongo na bagi
Longtime soldiers like Mohammed told us they faced aerial and ground attacks as recently as 2019. He wanted to show us the villages inside the mountain that were hardest hit by the bombings. Evidence of the atrocities here has gone largely undocumented.
كان بحجمنا في المواقع داك المواطن كان بيجي بخش في الكهوف ده هنا. كنت ماشيين كده ده الأماكن اللي كان مواطنين بيجروا فوق للحرب وغصب عن الطيران بتاع الحكومة.
How long did the bombings last?
في 2013 القصف استمر لفترة أكثر من 4 ولا 6 شهور. 2015 2016 ده كان سنين 2 مستديمة كان ما عليها انقطاع.
No one knows exactly how many civilians live here now, but soldiers say hundreds of thousands live under their protection. As word of our arrival spread, residents rushed out to show us the bomb fragments they've collected over the years.
Na sene okay kujura baja jura ka kiele bana kai ini ngama se kamera ala kultayara fimba badiro ngeringo kwa kuna satara lenkare ala ntayara rada atetana jinga ala ngatan batara lebe na jinga tajina me na kwa osifi na kingo sina dari bembia.
Are you still living in fear here, living on the mountain?
Ala asadu men adinga ko kama rasori ngaska ngari niskani.
Sweeping promises from the new prime minister have revived hope for peace in Darfur. Many here are skeptical.
Mohammed,
نعم.
what do you think can end the conflict here?
ما بفتكر بكون في تغيير، ربما للسياسيين يكون فيهم تغيير، لكن أنا كزول عسكري بكون في الميدان وبرا من الشعب ومهانة شعبي الآن في نحوله ما يبدو لي في تغيير جانب تحندوق.
What do you guys think of the new transitional government of Hamdok and everybody else who's part of the new government after al-Bashir?
في فترة حمدوك هجمونا 3 مرات.
قبل شهر خرب جنينة إلى جنينة قاموا اتصابات والقتل والحريق والحاجات دي كله بيهلوا شنو يا دو قاعد بربط ما في حل. قدام السري ما في العرب جرروا فوقه أسلحة بتاعهم ورفوا من أراضينا خلاص ممكن زي تتمين شغل ماشي كويس لكن ما في حاجة يتغير.
What are you still here fighting for?
نحارب أجل أرضي خلاني وأماتي وأخواني كلهم قتلهم في عبارة جماعية في مجر. هننسى أنا ذات أموت زي ما ناس جلك ماتوا إلا جاء الحق.